after the mass, started immediately. So we had it. Initially, we were scheduled to hold it for 2 days. So this was Tuesday, Wednesday. And Wednesday evening, it was the one from 10 to 5. By Wednesday evening, there was so much crowd, not sick. You guys have seen an average of about 100 people a day. So I had to make a decision to come back because say, hey, let's extend it to 1 week. So luckily, I had to doing to go ahead and send them up to the doctor and go to one of the students of support to be able to pay his medical staff.
He's listening.
So we need to.
Yeah.
We work out and
See it.
we're going to upload that with this correlation. After that 6-day mass, there wasn't little or no activity that went on this Saturday when they had the luncheon. So our eyes now was the push getting people to the palace after that mass. The palace was busy and nobody knew something is happening. The big weeks were just so they cater to the needs of the OD, but nobody caters to the needs of the common guy in the town. So we need to, and I will recommend that we take a few more of these and another thing that I think most of the people have been aware that during the luncheon, we gave a plaque award to certain individuals in the town for the development of the town. But this year was solely conversation. So, on behalf of the OPD and the members of the PA Council, need to present this to the ODC executive.
So, this is the plaque from OD. And to ODCF for all the stuff that, all the projects that you guys are doing in the town. We're going to share some of it. I'm going to share in the presentation some of what we've done, talked about electricity and stuff. But the last project that just happened, I will share that with you. But if you look at your handouts, there's one that shows you medication. That's what we're going to quickly go through. Please, when you see counseling, it's not counseling, there's a typo there. So long-sightedness, or if it's a reading glass. But if you have cataract, I said glaucoma, but you have cataract, once it's diagnosed that you have cataract, you're given a ticket, and that ticket you take with you to Ugbo, where they will then do the cataract surgery, okay, to fix that. No. Okay, but it's a very discount rate. ODCF have played the role of making sure you go through this process. If it is a reading glass, you get that free. It's paid for by the ODCF. If it is short-sightedness, that one you get those glasses free. But if it's bifocal, we don't, you have to pay for that. Okay, but short-sightedness and long-sightedness, That is a simple glass in lens, and it was given to them free, right on the spot. Reading glasses was given to them. And then if it is a simple eye treatment, they did the eye treatment. But if you have cataract, once it's diagnosed, you have to go to Ugbo with a ticket, and that ticket allows you to get a discount. Your family has to pay for that surgery. So now you know at least why, maybe you cannot see very well. Then after that, you go and do your blood pressure. When you do your blood pressure and they diagnose you to having high blood pressure, if you look at the medications, you're given those medications free of charge from ODCF funding. That is a simple level of that. If your blood pressure is at a different level, they will let you know and then give you a prescription that you will take to your family to buy the medication. But they give you a simple, the generic blood pressure medication to start with. Then when you leave the blood pressure session, then you go to do, to check your sugar level, to check if you're diabetic. When they do that, after they finish checking that you're diabetic, the next thing they do is also give you the simple generic medication, insulin and all that stuff. But if you're at a different level of, if you're at a different level, then they will write a prescription, give it to you, but give you something to start with. And then you will have to take that prescription back to your family to buy those medications for you. Okay? As I said, we will leave it and then it will play along. But this took place in April this year. And the reason I say I wanted us to see the video in full is because you will see the people that came out. It was planned for 2 days, we ended up having it for 3 days. The people that came out the second day were upset when we told them that is, when Steve and the whole people told them that is the end of the event. And we managed no, why you know, say, Otana no line, they're almost pretending like they are almost to die. So we had to extend, Steve called, and we had to extend it for one more day. I'll let that you guys will see the video. You will see our family members. I say family members because when I look at it, I don't see any of mine, but every Onicha-Ugbo person is my family member. But as we were talking, we found out that Onicha-Ugbo system. That is why we had a lot of people. We have people from neighboring village. Uboko Iseluku and Igbo showed up when they heard about it. That is why they went too many people, and that is why they moved. Instead of doing it for 2 days, we had Nyabememe for 3 days. Okay. Have we seen this video? I've seen it. I've won them and I've shared it with some people here. It's our, you will truly love what ODCF and you guys in this room did with that project. Okay.
Because it was really a little bit emotional for me.
From the beginning to end, and also there's some serious part of it from which we're born or live funny. Okay, so calculations are translating from English to Onicha-Ugbo that you're diabetic. What is the word for being diabetic? We have some medical people.
Sugar.
So you will see in the translation when the doctor told the lady that you are diabetic based on this test. Whatever we translate, God translate here. Obasia, Mama, sugar in Mama, sugar is she can I'll show you. The woman in there, I said, man, I'm a la sugar. No, I'm a la sugar. But Mama sugar, she then I'll show you. You remember, Obasia man, I la sugar, so they had to start talking. Kake Sibwa, Mama, no, to go see another easy. Niapo, Usikapa. On a zone the sugar is from there. You know why? So if you look at sugar, yeah, like here. Mama, Ilya rice, because what else are they eating in the village? So now, about what the woman, Mero and Anthony, was the woman normally happy? So the translator was fun, and then the Mapusuba, the skill because there's a follow, he's now people are more, he's now a obstetrician. So because you cannot read, you have to read all the alphabets or whatever. So but they cannot read. So all of Kuchiana, I say okay. If I feel you make all face your knock face. As Steve was helping some people, I think you were confusing the woman. So they went as far as okay, we were down for accounting, careful. The mama, different parents. So I said, half an hour, no, in army. So what the doctors were doing is okay. The letter E, is it facing this way or is it facing that way? So they don't know, say, okay, no. So the diagnosis was good. Then what level can you read? But you start from the top, you're going down. I was boy girl do I say,
It's like you mastered the whole thing there.
You will watch it in full. There are some serious things that you will see when people were they felt very good. Now, for the first time, they have opportunity to do the eye check and get glasses. They go through the blood pressure, and then they check if they're diabetic. The only thing is, they were also happy because, as you see, I gave you the list of all the medications that were handed out that day, and the glasses. If you don't have it, I'll pass it around. Go ahead.
What I want to add, when you were saying that they have to shut it, people came from the village. I think I guess next time, if we are talking about the people, we should give our people preference. So we should have a screening process so that people who came out from other villages cannot benefit while our own people are left behind. Because this is on Chubo, not Igbo.
How many times we just web out?
They have their own information, and our people.
Yeah.
So you just kind of,
I'm not saying
if you look at it now, yeah, I was the only one there. I had to ask for help from some members of my family for crowd control. That was the problem with that. And if you look at that gentleman there, he just came back from London. So he used to be, he has come to a convention here, a former convention from London. So there are other people that come in and help for backup. So that would be very difficult.
I'm not saying they're not going to do it. I'm not saying they're going to do it. Because all your people should line up. So we give them more privilege than people who come down. Because when you get everybody, you can be treating people from Igbo. Why don't you go people are not? By the time they come, you say it's over. They are not benefiting. That's what I'm saying.
The children who are qualified. Yes. When you say qualified,
On Chubo, one line, you also have to line.
okay, yeah, they don't qualify. I'm not going to get they want to get
I know that people have their right.
so you have a point. I'm not saying that you have the point, but it's going to be very difficult. They don't have the go ask a question. They don't have the like what you see. Not the word. The people you see, it's a more jail quality.
With the court.
You see what government was showing. Our two is what are achieving now? Those are the good points. But it's important to show a lesson to any set of people of the faith. They will be able to tell them what will be defeated from the same or the two people who will be able to back. You know, we're going to be able to be able to if you let those people do then you will because they will get the news. They will check out what people need to know the back end, the back end of so, he encourages them for them to pick up for the
No, with all due respect, sir, what he's saying is we manage the resources for our own people more. That is the most important thing. No, we have a preference. We are Onicha-Ugbo, we are always here. The other people will still come, but we give our more preference. That's the point. There's nothing wrong with that.
That is what, meaning the first day and the second day. The first day, when you clear the video, you see majority of Onicha-Ugbo people. The second day Onicha-Ugbo, but then by the time I get just half a day, the second day, the news is spread, yeah. So you ended up having people on the third day. So that is what happened.
Hold on. Then be.
Days, and I agree with two of you. We will take that into consideration. But if any too much, even on the third day, Steve, I feel sorry for him because he's the one on the ground. So ODCF, they're looking at him, saying, okay, achieve cut off the second day. Even the third day was cut off, no fourth day. And there are people they chop for the fourth day to come in. But we had to cut off because we are paying, ODCF is paying the doctors and all the technicians for 3 days.
Let me say something.
Okay.
One way you can solve that problem is you designate time, like what is also our purpose. You designate time for indigenous. You give a certain time of the day that's only for indigenous. Why you spread out the time non-indigenous? So people come in and tell them, oh, we will have this event at this time, so get out at that time from them. That's another way of solving and managing your resources.
Yeah, we will try to take
managing your time and sharing resources. The bigger point here is that we have to make sure our own people benefit more than other places.
No, I agree with you on that. So we take those into account. Go ahead.
Another thing, how is the awareness of creating the awareness? Because sometimes most people didn't know, and maybe they have to hear.
No, here is the awareness that we have with regards to the human problem. When it would be and it now is no longer good. They have a car with a speaker that drove around. And we pay for that. So ODCF paid for that. The person driving around in the town with micro, whatever they call that, big speak on top of their car, and they were announcing. Huh?
So I thought, why you just pay for the free? Because it's our
But remember though that upland from the
So but we will take that into our advisement. A lot of people showed up, to the point that even on the third day, we had to, one way or the other, we had to stop. There was, because we had to keep paying doctors and the techs.
I see that maybe next time, what will be things like this?
Yeah, it will be just.
Registration that will through OB. With that, I can make a preference for OB. Through OB, why register through OB, even after the announcement? So that I can donate still wet in it, still wet in it. Then when you see no wet in it, you will then list this still going to. You understand what I mean? So please see that the equipment, how many classes or things like that they are going with.
No, they have more than enough. they had more than enough. It was us stopping on the third day, because to go on to the fourth day, we will continue to pay the doctors and the technicians. So they had enough medication. When you watch the video in full, you will see it. They just stacked up, and it was being given to them. And we'll finally take that into our advisement and look at it, because already standing on our mask, when our mama takes you for a lot, we're jealous about, and you will see a lot of them in their 70s or 80s. Ochikulene, you can see mama, mama, Afayal and baby. We would take that into account. When mama show up or papa show up, you see papa and Afayal and baby. Both name kind of weird, first of all, and some of them we can say one time they people, you know, and man. I'm going to anybody on that except for a couple of people. Okay? But no time and half of them. But there were a lot of people. So next time, what two of you are talking about, we figure out where you are talking about to say, okay, I need to check here. How do we get Onicha-Ugbo people for the first 2 days? And the third day, whoever shows up, we help them out.
Yeah, one more thing. In respect to the video, is it public or just?
Yeah, it's public. We're trying to find a way to load it into ODCF forum so that people can, but it's kind of too much. It's a 2.5 hours.
Do we have the ODCF have a website?
Yes.
We have a website,
Okay.
but
I'm getting into.
we got to pay somebody, so we're looking at that too. So we have to pay our person to do that. Okay. I will also play that during the lunch. So you're eating, you can then relax and watch it yourself. One of the things about electricity, I know I'm jumping ahead, is electricity therefore is a great thing. So I don't know, how many of you have been home recently? Anybody want to give us any update? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was in Onicha-Ugbo in March, April. I was there for about 4 months. And I read Lagos, then I was told that Onicha-Ugbo will have steady light. And in Lagos, no steady light. So I went to Onicha-Ugbo. And just recently, while I was there was steady light. And to God be the glory, the lights were so, the current was gathering, fridges, air conditioner, all this, and what have you. It was a very beautiful experience.
I want to know how you answer that.
Oh, okay. I went through during the last evening festival, you know. While I was there, the light was steady, you know, and after the festival. So I would say the light is improving.
I traveled over there during the Christmas. But I spent only 2 days. But not the Canada, there is one. There was summer. Although I'm not counting that 9 will open, you understand? So maybe that day will open the levels.
Which is
Just
crazy.
When I was there, 6 p.m., 7 a.m.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I went 2 years ago to bury my mom. I had to pay for my own electricity.
Okay.
So when people say steady, is it you paying like what they have there? The kind of electricity they have there, you have to pay to get electricity.
Okay.
Or
I
is
get
it
it.
net that is giving you like? So let me just, I want to get that.
When you finish, I'll also.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to actually kind of be key to get myself and get it. When we started the BH, didn't want to give us time. We had no commercial days. that time they were having problems to sell goods. Yesterday, going to be the local color.
It's the capital.
The
Actually, waiting on that.
But that was based on estimated gain. So, after a couple of months, he said, he said, they're sending you to us, we don't see the receipt. So, they cut off the contract. So, just after a few months after that, that we started an request. And what they told us, oh, look at the same that sister brothers now, look at the experience we have. How can you guys solve this one? So we were able to defend that. And okay, we said, yeah, but what we need is to prepare meter. They said, that's our question. Hey, we don't even have enough meter for Asaba or even Lagos or Kogi. How can you ask us? We don't even have to. So, they came back from Benin, and I talked to Kenneth. I said, hey, well, is there a way at the substation they can meter that to serve the whole town, and we feed the meters at that point? That's how we started. We went back. It's okay, but you will have 8 platforms at the substation. So, in that case, they will need a down payment of 1 million naira per transformer. That's considered 8 million naira. Okay? They will come back again, negotiated it down to 6.8. That's where you see people looking for the children all over America to contribute money. I'm sure it probably nobody came to you. Yeah. So we got that there. Then after that, okay, how do we know which transformer is serving who? So we were able to do some kind of enumeration locally to find that, oh, this particular computer is serving Modi, this is serving Umo, this is serving Omokino. From there, we were okay. We found out everyone like I think who has like 2 transformers. Then one of the guy that has the 2 transformers. So we were able to see that. Okay. Then we came up with a suggestion at the European Council that each village we have a village electricity committee, which is headed by individuals in the village. Then they did that. So, what is happening in each village is this. Okay, you probably have a regular bill for your home. But when you are having an event, when they expect you to consume more electricity, they will ask you to pay extra. And that's probably what you did when you went to buy. If you are having a marriage, having a big either you use your generator, or if the electricity is going to be around that time, you have to give them additional money.
Okay.
That is Ugbo. It's not the whole of it. But no, every village does that. But that depends on the village it came from. So, or your supply is being connected to you. So it has nothing to do with that.
Now, just to quickly, you asked the question so that you know, and he has given you the answer. But the other piece of it is this. That committee can disconnect any light. They don't play, they don't play with it. They collect money from the Onicha-Ugbo. And I remember you telling me they didn't have light, but when you paid, not only did you get light to do your event, the whole people got the light. And here is the answer to that.
Because they were
so
there's no way you can make
so you cannot
to your house.
To your house. So that is the thing. Onicha-Ugbo is a central meter for each way, but also within your Shuno, there's a committee that collects the money they can disconnect your light within that Oshono.
Yeah, if you don't pay, disconnect your light. And I think each home, they normally pay about 3,000.
Yes.
Each village,
Each house.
based on the
house.
size of their house, like who I know,
So that's
we do
6,000.
it like a room, say like 500 naira. If you have 2-room house, you pay 1,000 a month. You have
The question I want to ask with respect to this slide too, but I just want to make another suggestion. Because the question is, does it mean we have to get light from the NEPA?
Be there.
Or is there any way, I'm just saying something we can look into. We are here to see how technology is run, and we have school in Africa. If we can start looking into how to generate our own light.
No.
It might sound awful now.
No.
Seriously,
That
it
is-
sound awful now, but I see it's getting done here. Most people have solar panels in their house. We can have a sub-center solar panel that can feed on with wind. And it's going to cost money, don't get me wrong, but it's something that's going to be for us. That we don't have to be paying.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good suggestion and everything. But I don't. I'm an electrical engineer by profession. More than 40 years professional engineering. Power is capital is intensive project because you do have a lot of both local and international regulation to generate people can load it. Then that doesn't, we don't have infrastructure for that. For solar panels, the young man that is in there in the video with me, came back from UK, he has solar panel in his house. That was a private effort. But it cost him about 3 million naira to do that. So even when the BDEC supply is not there, he can use his solar panel in his house. So individual have, even the present street light in Onicha-Ugbo, it used to be solar panel, but that was done by the state. And that around Kachuku is trying to revive it right now. So that is a possibility if you want to do it. But it's not possible for us to get into, it's just like the same thing with water. So we have the reservoir. People are getting water there. You go, if you get home, if there's no water in your well, I think you pay like 7,000 or 8,000 naira. The tanker will come and feed all the water you need. But hey, we looked into it too. To lay the pipe into those 4 major arteries, like that Umolo, that Omokelu from Abano, that is it. It's going to cost about 300 million naira.
Well, here's it.
So, but luckily, people are talking to the water board to see if they can help us to do that. So these are things that they are really capital expensive.
I understand what you're saying, and if I can name when we have all these ideas, and it's good to bring them up, because when you stop dreaming, then you stop living. We have to have the vision to see beyond where we are, because when we do that, we see impossible become possible. So that is, is an idea that we take into our advisement and see, okay, how do we, as we walk through this electricity, and how do we then move it to the next level, and making sure that we get into personalized meter. The personalized meter was something we wanted to do, but I know a lot of people don't like, while liking that woman Aaron will be there, but I love her. She's no nonsense, she's straight to the point. And she tells to Onicha-Ugbo, if you want personalized meter, prepaid meter, yes, you sign up and pay for it. And that's what he told you guys. But we don't have it. I can collect your money right now. You probably see the prepaid meter in 10 years. We have people who've already paid for it. They haven't received it. If she was a typical Nigerian businesswoman, She will have collected the money and keep telling us the meter is coming, the meter is coming, it is coming. She was straight to the point. The only way it will work is, so we are looking at that personalized meter. But when it comes to that personalized meter, open everybody in one prepaid meter. Because the only way you have the light is you pay for it, which is good. Open Equina, you go to the meter, you won't buy it. You won't get the light. Again, in the channel this room, all of you will be paying that bill in Onicha-Ugbo because I'm paying mine. When I mean paying mine, I'm not talking about paying for my house. You're paying for some of the family members. No, they are waiting for you guys to pay for it. And you're going to buy the meter. The transformer, it costs ODCF a lot of money on that transformer. It costs ODCF a lot of money on the wires and everything that was done in the light. Although we bought it, but it belongs to the company. Now, they own it. They have a typical Nigerian business. You want light? Now you go buy the transformer, now you go buy the wire, now you go buy the pole. Then we just give you the light. But now, once that equipment is installed, then we get that. Because they now own it. Which is, I know it's you say, well, Nigeria we did. So, but we're looking for that. And, one of the things that, when I talk about a light, is I'm passionate about it in the sense that I need Jono, you will get it. And he's very steady. Why is it that sometimes you don't have it for 18 hours or 19 hours? Because we realize that Ndi Onicha-Ugbo, when meeting, they asked BDEC to stop giving us light. And they wanted light for only 7 hours a day. Well, on even light in 7 hours, you pay less bill. Just to let you guys know, that was the whole concept. They had a meeting, they told OB and OB in council, we only want light for 7 hours. The less hours we get, the less bill we pay. But that is not how it works. Because Onicha-Ugbo standard 3,000, whether you use it or not, you're paying that 3,000. Okay? BDEC can give us light for 7 hours and it doesn't matter. But they do try, and we get consistency in electricity. It will help the business. But the biggest thing that I want us to think of is this light, business electricity rate. A lot of businesses have moved in. You may push up. Now you can have all this stuff, fridge, freezer, you're selling all this stuff. But you're paying 3,000. Like my auntie, Mrs. Matia, say pay 3,000. Every day they complain. Mona when I fair for microwave, the way she described it. And when I'm microwave, and when I'm fridge, and when I'm freezer, and when I'm wake, I say more 3,000. But when you shop, 3,000 call. Think about that. So people are opening up shop and paying only 3,000. Running more electricity while the woman don't win anything. Lillian, where's Lillian? Oh, she stepped out. She had the same thing from home. And you guys have to keep paying the bill in the village for the family members. I'm paying her, helping pay hers. Some of you are doing the same thing here. So what we are asking is that as a group here, can we talk about having a different rate that we send the message home through Steve, because he's part of the committee back home on the electricity committee. We would like to change and set up a rate for the businesses so that they pay differently from Ifendi, Mama na Papa.
Let me say something. I think it's very obvious that businesses should pay double the amount. Because if you look at it, when you guys say steady, that's how some people understand what steady is. Does steady mean you are paying to get steady light all the time? Or does it mean that when you pay to that fee, it lasts you for a long time? So now that we are adding businesses coming into Onicha-Ugbo, I would say that we should change. Because most people in the village, they are poor.
Thank you.
I don't know how even we here can keep sustaining them, because we also have families and things we have to deal with here. So it should be, for those of you in the committee, you gotta have to arrange these things so that those businesses that consume more should pay double or even more I mean, that's a way of, sharing the cost. Not making a flat rate for people that, that can't even afford it. Like my people, when I came to very time, I put out light for 72 hours, and that's the only time they had light. And even I didn't have it for 30 hours. That's why I'm asking, many things have changed since 1970. I only had it for only the night period. I didn't have it for the whole day. That's why I'm just asking this question.
Let me let you. Okay, right now, D-Day is when we have supply from D-Day to the transformer and the substation. It's when we can have back. So they still have period and as a result of some natural reasons that happen. But everybody knows once it rains in Nigeria, the whole country doesn't have patient. But once it rains, I don't know whether the system is not designed to withstand rain. So, but from my own, I was there. I was at Onicha-Ugbo. I was in Nigeria for about 6 weeks, and half of it I spent in Onicha-Ugbo. Throughout that time, they were getting like 6 p.m. to midnight. There's light. Then from like maybe 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to about 11 a.m. to 12 there's light. So that's what they were getting.
Tony, to answer when we say steady light, you land in Lagos, you can stay in Lagos, in some part of Lagos, for 1 week or 2 weeks, there's no light.
Even Asaba.
Asaba, 2. But you go on Ugbo, you will have a light at least 6 to 7 hours in one day.
But some not even for days. And some days, 3 days, 4 days. Some days, so, what we are talking about business is okay, but it's still dependent on each village electricity committee to pursue their own program for the business is putting their area.
Can I speak of whether what the benefits what if you want to speak about it?
Obviously, we know that we have concentration on the businesses around the main road, like the Gravity, the Ball, you said the part of Ugbo, but like we
Yeah, but Steve, just because we are time constrained.
Yeah. So that's the way, we look into it. Advise, maybe we'll do advise them to look into each village.
Okay, on that business, we are looking at it differently from the OGCF point of view. It's not going to be left to Ogbe to decide that. We're saying that we want to have the electricity committee on the village level, which is you, Ken, and other. We want a standard rate for the business, regardless of which way you are in. Okay? Because to leave it to Ogbe to decide, no. Ogbe decide and I can individual houses. So our recommendation, we'll put it together and send it to you and Ken.
Okay.
And we are recommending that there's a standard rate for all businesses in Onicha-Ugbo. And also there are 2 levels. One is tier 1, one is tier 2 for that thing. And I really empathize with, my Mona Lena and Iku sometimes, we talk about, I use my auntie, but she's paying $3,000 every month. Okay? Yes, I'm paying for it because I tell her to just calm down, but she's right. And then we'll have, this bubble when the careful with gas station, right there, bingo. But you're running gas station. You're running a gas station. That should have been $100,000 naira a month.
Yes.
So those are the things we're looking at and saying we're at that level now that we will recommend to the electricity, Steve and Ken to, they've been the people running this for, and we definitely applaud them because Obnobana too. He sent they go to Onicha-Ugbo, okay, then he find it you man, the Kuno man. Let me just stop there. So let him say and then it comes to you.
There's one thing that we have to put into consideration. If we are saying here for 3,000 or above that. Like when I traveled home, I came back last month, June. I was at home by May, June. And if I don't know, there's a lot of improvements. The rate the businessmen are coming to Onicha-Ugbo, most of the things that I make, you see them in Onicha-Ugbo. They were busy expanding. Every office you are building house, all those things are now busy, fully there. 24 hours shopping is there. And I would suggest, if you want a place to grow, you have to at least give a fair, what we call tax-free. Let them have a route. Because I was able to run into Kane. Kane was discussing with Kane in our room for me. Kane has said, also, if you call and testify what I'm saying, I think for shopping in there, and they are on the need because they gave me free hand, they served them, it's an economy. I let them come in, let the town develop. By the time that every area is okay, now let everyone pay his for our own fair share. But okay, let's allow me to arrive. Let everybody pay his for our own fair share.
So I'm going to be timing everybody because we're time constrained. So you only have about 30 seconds left.
Right. You cannot come and impose and pay $2. You're going to pay $10 because of this thing. By the time you begin to impose those things, those companies come in the market just to shrink.
No, let me say something. America is built on taxes. So we cannot say let them develop. We need to tax those people. They should pay their own fair share. How to develop continue.
Okay. You've said your piece. Okay. Well, we don't.
But one thing, let me say this.
Let Udo finish and I'll point to the next person. You have a minute, 60 seconds.
What I will say is precisely about Umolo. I won't talk about Onicha-Ugbo in general, Umolo. What we do is, if you have a small property, or in Canada, Germany, you are being made to pay a higher amount than people who are in the village. Because why? We have widows and widowers who cannot afford to pay. So it's like we carry the bill for other people.
Yeah,
go ahead.
One thing I want to say about this is this. Those businesses you're talking about,
it's a small area.
Are they hiring our people? No. Who are they? Who is working for them? That's the issue. If they're hiring our own people, yeah, that would be nice. Then we can give them incentives.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you got it. You got 60 seconds.
All these things, we're talking about lights. No matter how it is, like you said, the old woman who is paying 3,000 will have nothing. And compared to a shop that is making money, they should pay more. And they will understand it. They'll be taking this for free.
Yeah.
So there's no how you're going to tell them to pay because it's their business. They're making money out of it. The old woman is not making money out of anything. So if we ask them to pay more, I don't think they're going to leave. We are not asking them that we're paying all the money. We just explain to them. And nothing is this. The way we create the awareness of, we need to educate our people more. I think we need to, maybe the Nepal people, sometimes set them to, so that they'll be able to, because sometimes when they come, they don't explain anything. They don't explain anything, and those people who understand it. Oh, you know, this is what we're going to pay. If not pay, we cut your light.
No, so just to answer you, NEPA has nothing, BDEC has nothing to do with what you pay.
No, I'm not talking about NEPA. Like you said, you're going to send a committee to only hear about the business. When they go to tell them how they're going to increase.
Oh yeah, they will.
So they need to explain to them so that it's not like the way they do
Steve,
Steve
and Ken, they've done an excellent job.
You have a cousin it's part of the life committee. The way, if you don't pay, you're coming to cut your light. You know, not there's sometimes you don't market it that kind of problem.
Yeah, so if you're a Ugbo, but the committee for electricity in each village and Oshono is controlled by that Bogwe and Oshono. Because at the end of the day, all the collect say go from Oshuno, it goes into the Ogbe. Ogbe then feed their own meter. You know, and but that is it. As far as the electricity for business, we have talked about it a lot, and the Yakodele agenda is because something that we are thinking very seriously. You guys, you know, Yaba gas station. You know how much you make a gallon of gas, petroleum? A liter of petroleum. But at the same time, and again, maybe we use that as an incentive, as Tony was asking the question, are they hiring our people? Maybe that is, nothing is off the table. We will discuss that and say, okay, here is based on this package, this is what we're, but it has to be 2 tiers. 3 tiers. The lower tier, Umbolo is doing something on their own, where they're saying, okay, we're taxing those of you abroad, house to pay more, and then the other people pay less. Every different way made that payments differently. The most important thing is that each of us is responsible for their own meter. Feed it, and it works very well because everybody at home work. The disconnection I'm talking about is that Oshono might decide, it's okay. But when they don't play with it. It was both for a quarter off because Nepona. But we're also saying, how do we help? You talk about widow. So, okay, my auntie only 4 win, I put 3,000. How about if we get her to pay 500 naira or 1,000 naira? While the guy in the gas station, not for the guy who will me away for anything basically on the guy that owns the gas station. Okay, this guy owns a gas station, and I know how much diesels and gases he sold to me when there was a truck during my father's burial that we brought the truck and all the cars and the van.
And we run the road generator, we spend more on that.
So if you increase this TV one stand, it will not move out because they are gaining.
Okay,
It's so simple.
Mr.
I just want to make a contribution about this issue of electricity. It's been established that, okay, individuals will pay $3,000 naira. So for the businesses, I would suggest the committee, we recommend 6,000 naira, which is double. But again, the people on ground should be able to assess how big a business is before we start levying them. Okay, but the minimum, what we should tell them is minimum 6,000 naira. The committee on ground can determine if a particular business should be paying more, maybe 8,000 or 10,000. So basically, so that way we kind of make it flexible for the committee on ground to do their job.
And that is what we appreciate that.
You know, I really say I will commend the ODC have just done so much. Our praise the executives. I mean, you guys have come a long way, and we're making a lot of impact. And I will appreciate if we can sustain it. Just to digress a little bit, the only observation I have is the meeting of this kind of forum. You know, there are a whole bunch of people coming in. So the ideal thing is have people introduce themselves. You get to know who are you, where are you from, which way. Because at the last convention in Dallas, we did the same thing. We were attending for the second time, my wife and I, and we got to know many new people. And at this particular meeting, I'm seeing a whole bunch of new faces that we don't know. And why is very vital for us to know who is talking, who is speaking, who is suggesting. It helps the secretary. So if he's taking notes, he knows who's talking. So that would be my only observation.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that because when we started, it was only how many of us in the room. I leave Tony. Tony is programming it. But it was only a very handful of us in the room, and those of us in the room were mostly the executive, so we know each other. But now that more people have come down, we will go through that process. But not to beat a dead horse, on that electricity, you said through flexibility. That is why, at the executive level, we're looking at tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. But when we increase tier 1 and tier 2, we have to reduce tier 3. And tier 3 will... When you forget for we no, you say I have 3,000. Man, you know, again, I'm beating a dead horse. I have a gas station. And I'm pumping gas, selling all this, making money in my pocket, and I'm going to pay 6,000? No. And Mama is paying 3,000? So we have to get tier 1 and tier 2 to pay more in order to offset tier 3. So tier 3 can go from 3,000 to 1,000. But I like that idea. So that is the flexibility here we will recommend to them to look at. Our own with the recommendation. And we're not trying to say that ODCF owns the electricity, but we all of you here in this room can brag that you did it. But we are not getting into that. So we're saying to them, here are the things we're hearing, here are the recommendation we're making. These two guys are, you know, Steve and Ken has done an excellent job of making sure the project takes off and has taken off in good fashion. So we will do that. We'll look at it, you know, on our conference call. We wanted to bring it up, but we wanted to get some ideas from everybody. And then we can put it together and say, here is it, can you take it back? You guys have a conversation. But
the size of the business also should be...
Yeah, that is tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3.
Okay, after the recommendation, who has the final approval?
After what?
After the recommendation was sort of bed.
As far as business is concerned, just so that we all understand, we cannot let business run and, you know, continue to pay 3,000 when Mama is paying 3,000. Okay. After the recommendation, as far as business is concerned, that would then become, it's not open committee. We have an electricity committee that actually started the whole project. And that will come between Steve, Ken, and ODCF will definitely be involved in that. For the business, we are not involved in the rate within Ugbo or village or house, but on that business we will be involved. Ken and brother, the other Steve, and the other people that we are appointing to that position, we handle that. And we're giving, you know, we know that those two with the committee can come back and say, you know what, we are recommending that we go this direction. Our own is to recommend right now and make suggestions for them to think about it. But it's not going to be Ugbo deciding that and controlling that. Once the business decision is made and they're told what they're going to pay, Ugbo will still collect it. But they're collecting it from them, knowing how much you're supposed to pay. So if the committee decided that tier 1 is paying 20,000 naira a month, now when you're collecting the money for the Ugbo or Shona, when he goes to that business, he knows I'm here to collect 20,000 naira, not 3,000.
But in that respect, like we said, business will socialize share and feel why the other places like we're talking about. So when the Ugbo collectors, if you're going to do that, so some Ugbo will have more money than the rest. So I think we should have to look into
yeah, we are going to look into that. So once we collect, so this is a suggestion. At the end of the day, too, different Ugbo are put differently. Okay, in Ugbo Kano, if some families are paying 1,000 naira, in my Oshuna, they're paying 1,000 naira. But guess who gets the bigger portion of the bill? Just like what you guys are doing in Ugbo. So some houses, if they are not law this house, they don't care. I say remuneration, is that what they call it? They do all the studies and tell you, oh no, but 10,000. Mama, but 1,000. We have 500 naira in one of the houses that people are paying. But it depends on each Ugbo and the way they do it. So, but on the businesses, think about this. Also, if we take that money from, why wouldn't somebody from Onicha-Ugbo be or say, wait a minute, we spend more electricity because of the businesses here. Let's go down to Ushi area where my mother is from and my brother, Mr. Anazia, is from. I don't know how many businesses we have in my area there. So Auburn and they use all the light for businesses in Obobi or Ishiakwe. So that payment, they are consuming more electricity than somebody in Ushi or even Abba, where I come from, because there's no business in that place.
What you're saying is that you pay them according to the transmission.
Yeah, that is how it
That
comes.
works.
Yeah. So they will have to pay that.
And you have to, where you set up right now, the meter for every village is paying according to the.
That's
It's working for almost, if Oberkane does not have enough meter in their money in their meter, they will not have like what Ugbo has.
That's something.
Yeah, that, this case now.
That's something. So we can
Yeah, but it's
So but once the decision is made on what tier 1, tier 2 we pay, then, but we want the tier 3 to get relief. Think about it, we need, and we all have to be really concerned about that tier 3. You know,
I don't know what you want to mean by that. I'm sorry.
Less privilege. Less privilege.
it's not a less privilege.
No, when
Let's
you
not
say
look at it.
relief, at the end of the day, 3,000 is a fair amount. You don't have like a number of hours a day. So when you say that tier 3, at the end of the day, you don't shortchange yourself in the long run because
I know
that 3,000 is a very reasonable amount
Correct.
for the number of hours you get like a day. So let's not go into reducing. I mean, since you've already said it, some families even pay less than 3,000. So what are we talking about?
No, we need to make sure that
Each of which, no, those of which we look at it, but at the end of the day, you know, I'll give it to you, but at the end of the day, we all also have to look at that relief. Because when we need that 3,000 naira to feed,
food on the table.
okay, and they are antsy about it and putting it out. So giving them a relief is also coming from, okay, then we have to have those who can pay more in order for those who are in the tier 3 to get a relief.
I think the thing that happens here.
So-
Your children in school, they're not entitled to free money, but they're supposed to get free money. That's their ability to pay.
So let's do this. And more people came and left. So, Blessing, Sister Blessing, can you start with, we'll start with you and we'll just go around the home quickly.
And also with that though, I have a paper going around for you to just write on your name, your email address, the phone number, and no way. I think we did it last time too. I already have one going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Set up piece of paper, one of the, you want that?
I got to one.
No, that's when you figure out.
Okay, Ngozi.
If you can, we want your voice to go up.
Mubu Ngozi. Okafor Neil Ugezene. Oyumolu. Married in Okpana.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay.
Our farm Mrs. Anne Ngozi Ugezene. Mboni say.
And she's looking at you because you said something about the same. See, when I was calling your name to do this, I was trying to get it because I was looking at her face. Why not leave it so? Don't tell her how it's so.
I can't finish that introduction. He said, "Be going on to go."
Mboni Moro.
Yeah, going on to go.
Because I heard a lot of you say.
I had a lot of you stuff. So if still maybe you go home, you get a separate room.
No, mobile Lawrence is anymore. I only mobile campo. That's the Abuja of Chubo.
Wait a minute, we are changing that.
Abuja of Chubo. Really, I'm going to go to and I'm in a treatment.
Okay. You know?
Afam Udobiosa, Onu Umolo, in whatever Hamburg, Chicago.
You guys are Abuja or Lagos? No, not Lagos.
I just want Umo London.
Oh, Ajagun of Nigeria.
Okay. Stephen Okele together, Molo, Onicha-Ugbo. If you stay.
I just love fun.
Austin, Chukwe, when we walk out. Live in Chicago.
Washington, D.C. of Onicha-Ugbo. Canada of Onicha-Ugbo.
Who are from Canada?
Abumolo. So let's make sure. The reason the animal is the number one Aba, no Onicha-Ugbo. You think so? Let's not confuse. Let's not mix it up. So we know the Aba, Washington D.C. of Onicha-Ugbo, which is Awi. So what about the Aba of
what operation? Aba on Umolo.
Aba on
Ibe Anazia from Ushi, I live in Burnsville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Mobile Alini, Patrick Otto from Abu Bakr, Abara family.
Yes. Aba royal family. Mba, Idumolalina.
So Abu Bakr, I live in war. I was on double.
We didn't hear you. Onye, why am not baby? So can you repeat it? But the family. Care for the family. Okay.
And then mobile chief FM Igbejo.
You gotta go through the
I've been in Washington D.C. The Virginia side.
Okay.
The local chief.
Okay.
You knew what I want to go.
All right. Welcome. Okay. Yeah, you.
Okay. I'm only catching you, but I'm on your way. But adoption.
Okay, your better half. No.
Mobo came from an immigrant family, no Bobi.
Okay. No Bobi. That is your, you know. Well, when he introduces himself, he will tell you.
I don't want one woman. I found a fine Patrick from Onicha-Ugbo, London. I don't know when you details from London. No, most people are my wife back at why in London. You know, two was a home. I ain't going here to move his job, but don't go.
I've told the DG, the most important thing will be DG family. I'm royal family.
Kingmakers. It's not, that is true. So I'm not going to.
Royal family.
Your kingmakers, but the real royal family just stood up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Uncle Augustina Onuka, formerly of Sodi, Onicha-Ugbo, but now I'm married to the Onuka family now.
Onicha-Ugbo London.
Okay. I'm Uncle Augusta. Jacob Biwe, and I was married to
Japa arrived almost 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. last night. Tony, you're. You need to connect. You see how? Okay. Ajabula of Hey, Umolo now.
Afambo, Ifeanyi, Anthony Otako. I'm from Umolo.
London.
He could be in London long time ago.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Afambo, Lilian, Welumo, Onicha-Ugbo, Okocha-Mula Idumose. And I'm married to Welumo.
She's trying to remember which one. Because there's so many Welumos now in the family.
Mobo Michael Chukwenwe Kamado Kocha. Emmanuel Pajamana when we were small, the Virgin with St. Joseph. One with St. Joseph. So
I know. I went to St. Agnes.
Thanks, St. Joseph. The boy St. Joseph.
Make me finish introducing. I will explain that.
Oh, okay. So, Maryland can say, Onicha-Ugbo said, Elbobi on Chubo Cambo. When they move on.
So, just to help you guys, when we arrived from Jos during the war, St. Agnes was all girls, St. Joseph was all boys. And then we were down in we were in class 1 and class 2. I was in All Saints.
All Saints is the original.
Okay, wait. All Saints was overcrowded because of during the war, in the model came back. In order to reduce the overcrowding, they selected class 2A, class 2B, class 2C. So you have 2B, 2C. They selected 2 A's and 1 A's transferred us to St. Agnes's. We are the first guys. And that is it. And you know, St. Agnes's ended up being co-eds. But we were the first group of guys that they transferred us. That is where, you know, well, wait a minute. When I said Joseph, in the talk, I don't know what year you were there, but after we arrived, we beat the hell out of you guys. So that is how we ended up there. Anybody Mali, you know, maybe some of you, Jensayo. We were all there. Azubike, we were all transferred. Chukuma or Sodi, I can give you all the guys. We were all taken, and you call it bossing. They just bust us and say, it's overcrowded, we can't keep here. We have girls' school. That's the space, and that is how we ended up there. Okay. After that, that is how St. Agnes's became co-ed. Yes, first 2 years all sense, but class 3 I ended up at default. St. Agnes's, and it was St. Agnes's throughout the time I was there. He never changed.
Was it different class?
No, he became co-ed. He was co-ed. He didn't change. So Afambo Victor Obiajulu Odega from Abba Obokenu. So let me correct that. Abba royal family.
Growing up,
so we are all taking, you know, at least Ikoko London. How many against London? Royal family. At least, you know, do more of Wajagula. Why not give myself some name? At least I give myself some name.
Excuse me. There's a forum now. I don't know if you guys can be included. On the Onicha-Ugbo Watch. They tell you deep history of Onicha-Ugbo. And that thing is where I knew, I learned of this from people now, that Abu Molo is Obi Onicha-Ugbo's brother. Yes.
Those days.
Yes, those days. That was royal. Not Obekenu. Not Obekenu, so you guys think not
But a lot of things that we didn't even know about.
Abu Obekenu. You understand? Abu Obekenu, you understand?
Aban will be same time.
Yes. So Aban royal family, that royal family is unique.
Yeah, now we started from there. But so you see, we don't learn something today. We don't learn them. Only General London one.
No. The Coco used to have their own king.
No. We have time. No.
That was fine.
And this is not.
The Coco is only that Lord Chichi. Why? They gave us that because when the Coco came, they came. Which is the they came from the Coco, yeah. So they came when they found out so they said, okay, what they going to do for us? For us to reach the king, that is our king, so they gave us our king. So we need to start educating most of our history.
So it's good that we went through this, and this is what this is all about, having the fun. You know, it's nice to know that my Diokpa is from Ajabula. I didn't know that. You know, Ajabula of Onicha-Ugbo, I didn't know that until today. Then I found out about the Coco London. Then the one that surprised me was the Abuja of Onicha-Ugbo.
The center. Onicha-Ugbo Wakese Wababia, Idumogbele Kaifowa. I am Ogbele Palace. Everybody comes, they congregate there. You know? So yeah, I think what happened.
So here is it's great. The lunch will be coming up shortly, but before we do that, let's make sure that you know. And you have some people asking, well, why are we doing all this stuff? Blah blah blah. I know that we did jump something that I wanted us to look at and talk about. We've talked about electricity rate. We're going around and introduce ourselves. There are two projects that we're looking at, and one of them is the Youth Corpers Lodge, to build like a hostel for the Youth Corpers to stay in Onicha-Ugbo. So to give you the background, and a lot of our class 5, I don't know what they call it now, but let me talk about my age. We talk about school side. When you're doing a school side, chemistry, math, physics, most of the major math classes, the students are alone. Can you imagine going to do your school side and you have limited teacher to even teach you on those sciences? We don't have them. Okay, then these students are going to do that math classes on their own. Where we have them, they are limited. Okay, the other subjects we have those teachers, but on the sciences we don't have those teachers. Some come, and some, when they allocate teachers, how many people want to transfer or want you to allocate them to Onicha-Ugbo? So we got into a lot of discussion with it, and we talked about with some of our elders in the town and some of our prior members of executive, and we're looking at the National Youth Corpers Lodge. It is an hostel which will be given free to anybody. All the youth corpers, we would like to get more youth corpers into Onicha-Ugbo. And to get them, we have to provide free accommodation. You know, they give a very little money. They have to pay their own way, they have to do it. We give them free accommodation, but we are looking for science majors first. And we're not looking for somebody who say they did, pardon the, you know, I know you can say you're electronic engineer, civil engineer. We're looking for specific majors: physics major, math major, chemistry major, biology major, and you know, we will give accommodation in this location, in this hostel, free, as long as they come to Onicha-Ugbo and they stay there, because there will be a rotation. Now you guys know how they rotate them. But each person has to do their 1-year rotation in that very school. And then the new set will come in. We have students, they're taking their school side. On some of them on their own when it comes to that major sciences. We don't have it. So how do we attract them? We find out that we can attract them when they find it, if we provide free accommodation to them. Some of our people in the village are already doing that. Steve Ogazin has given up his boys' quarter to accommodate some youth corpers. Kenny Wellington has given up his boys' quarters to accommodate some youth corpers. Okay, how do we get more of this? Instead of focusing on houses of everybody, we want volunteers, but how about we just provide a hostel where everybody will come in? I think we're looking at, is it 15 people in youth corpers accommodation? 15. We might not get 15 the first year, but we're looking at being able to get it so we have sustainable teachers, especially in the major sciences. We can do all we you know, we're focusing on health, but also we need to focus on education. And to invest on that hostel will be great. The other project we're looking at is the elementary school. And we're talking about chairs, not buying chair for one class or 2 classes, or no. Flat out, all out, from all the elementary school from 1 to, elementary school is it 1 through 6, please? Okay, so getting all the names. Again, he's sitting here, but he knows he's going to do all the work. So when I refer to the upper team, he's going to do all the work. Okay, because then we got all the information. Here is the elementary school. The whole thing is about doing it, not class 1, no. Here is the whole thing. Here's how much it's going to cost, and then we say, okay, we can do that. Let's go ahead and do it. It will be all elementary school from 1 through 6. Boom, the chair is done for everybody, not selected classes or selected school. So those are the two.
Chairs or desks?
That's what I mean, you know. Desks.
We have the word building combined.
Yeah, in my Kafa will combine, so you see the desk is attached to the chair. Okay, so that is what we are looking at, and the youth corpers, the executive will talk about it. I've sent out the projections. We have 2 architects that have done the drawing. I will make sure you guys see that. And the first time Mike Ifwa during the conference, Kiki. You will see great drawing, great looking building, but at the end of the day, it's an investment on those kids because we need those science teachers. We don't have them. The ones we have are very few.
Who's providing the location?
The hostel is being built, is going to be built, once we agree, it's going to be built at that school.
On the campus.
On the campus.
How about this?
No. It's called now Onicha-Ugbo Miss Secondary School. It used to be
girls, and it's not boys.
What happened?
They will run it. They will run the hostel. Somebody's got to be responsible for it.
That's true.
Yeah, we do. All the logistics, we will, just like the electricity, when we say this is, we want the electricity, and then we set up people to go through the logistics and be responsible in handling it. So right now is a project and a vision that we're presenting to you guys to say, okay, here is what we are looking at. Then, just like the electricity too, then we go through the setup of people that will help us. And since you brought it up, your name is on the list, so we'll talk later. Your name is on the list for that youth copper lodge.
Okay. Let me give you a little bit of background on this. You know, we have that school originally on Onicha-Ugbo Girls Grammar School. I was only catering for the needs for the girls. Then 3 years back, the Catholic mission with the St. Paul's got into government hand and they messed it up. So 3 years back, we were able to get the Catholic mission to take over St. Paul's. But St. Paul's is coming up again. So the condition was that when the Catholic mission took over St. Paul's, all the boys in St. Paul's, they want to start from ground zero. They don't want to deal with those ones that are there when they took it over. So now they converted this Onicha-Ugbo Girls Grammar School to Onicha-Ugbo Miss Secondary School and transfer all the boys there. Well, and even before that time, the Girls Grammar School again is still government. It's everything there is very, very marginal. One of the area projects we did a few years ago was to supply books.
We bought books.
I have to go home, wait on Onicha.
Photocopy machine.
Photocopy machine.
Or the teacher's lounge.
So we bought them. I even had back in Houston did my own personal book soliciting and shipped them home for them. So as you know, government is not doing much. So they say that most of the teachers they get. Really, Delta State government as of now, for the past few years, have not put embargo on recruitment of teachers. So they say they don't have money. So they are short in most of the courses, English, math, all those basic classes. So Ken has been doing a good job accommodating some of the youth corpers. So when I was able to start my own project and do some, the boys got out these things, they came to me that they would need, so I had to let them use it right now. So we decided that the best way to do is to find a way to get so that they can get more teachers. And being the only school that caters for the girls, Onicha-Ugbo, it became paramount for us to see that we are able to get instructors or teachers. So that's how this again, Ken and myself say maybe we can come back to this year that this would be what we are going to do. Another thing I have to do to people here individually, occasionally they have need. When during the school sign-up, some of the families can't even afford to pay for their school start fees.
It's not 35,000?
No, I don't. It's not even like that. I paid for a couple of them sometimes. So Ken has done that. Even being council, I said, the principal will come. He said, hey, we have so many number of students that they're supposed to pay for their school side, to take the school side. They don't have this. So they appeal to some people in the town, chip in and pay for their, that one is by the side. But the most important thing is that if we can get this thing going, and again, as a short-term measure, if you have a room in your house, and your place is not being occupied, we can use it. We want to make sure that they take care of it. There's no need building a house and lock it up. It's going to deteriorate. So I'm very happy myself that I'm using my first quarter right now. So that there's opportunities that have people in the compound, right now. So this is the situation there.
So here is it. When we come back from lunch, we will still talk a little bit about that. But before we go out to lunch, please, the reason I started talking about the project is this is where we all come in. Okay? Once every 2 years we meet. How many people go to an Onicha meeting here? Or different meetings? Okay? How much do you pay a month in Onicha?
The one we used to have in
okay. But how much was the due?
Before we used to pay $100.
A month?
No, every year, not every month. We normally happen every 4 times a year.
Okay. How much? 15. How much?
Well, we have an Onicha-Ugbo association.
Yeah, that's the dues you pay.
120, 240.
Yeah, just monthly.
Year,
just monthly.
Annual
$20 a month. Tony, how much do you guys pay annual dollars?
$30.
$30 every month. In Chicago, we pay $15 a month. And you guys pay?
And Onicha is 10, and Onicha is 10, so 10.
So you're going to 2. And where am I going with this? Is that we have, every 2 years we meet, and every Onicha-Ugbo person pays $100. Yeah. Convention fee is a donation, part of your donation to the association. But let's take, if I'm wrong, somebody do the math. That comes to $4 and something cents a month. Because the first reaction with some people is, why am I paying $100 to get it when the gate fee is $50? There's a difference. It's your sacrifice to that village. It's It's your sacrifice that led to the light that people have. It's your sacrifice that led to the projects that are going on, and we appreciate it. But when you take it in totality of paying $15 every month in Anioma, and I'm going to tell you, I go to the Anioma meeting, I pay $15. Onicha-Ugbo hasn't received anything from it. And I still go there and pay it. And told you, me, I don't have for that Anioma. And a different story I will tell you when I came up last week. But we're paying it. But Onicha-Ugbo is not getting anything out of it. He's paying $30 a month in Dallas. Onicha-Ugbo is not getting anything out of it. So we're asking, this is not new, so it's not like somebody said we're just starting it today. It is $100 contribution from all Onicha-Ugbo person that goes towards the convention. It's $50 gate fee for those guests that are coming in. Your contribution, convention contribution, that is $100 comes to $4 and something cents a month. You're only paying down $100 once every 2 years. Okay? Having said that, Sis Toto and Ugbo. So as you give them, okay.
Have you been talking about the project, those two projects, the project that you have?
Well, because the lunch is ready, we don't want it to get cold. Once, go ahead.
Because I'm just hoping that you guys have not forgotten about the medical mission project. Because I think that project should continue.
Okay.
I think that project is very sustainable.
Medical mission.
Yeah, she's talking about the medical mission. And she was impressed with the medical mission. You guys will see that in full. And it's not, no, it's something that is going to continue. The goal is something we look at to do it once every year. But to do it around April time, to make this medical mission successful, we have to have somebody from here that will be present. We're not going to hand the money to the people at home. We say, here's the money. The person goes in, everything is set up. Just for you guys to know, the money was paid to the doctors here in Houston. So we didn't send the money home. We paid it directly, coordinated with the doctor. The doctor has a clinic in Apple, Dr. Mabata. So he has all that, all those medical staff, and two doctors that you see that came from Dr. Mabata's clinic. If you look at I gave you the handout on the medication. Look on the left-hand side of the medications and the glasses and everything that was given to them. That is the hospital, who owns it and who runs it. Yeah. Yeah, that is it. If you look on the left-hand side, it tells you the person, but everything is all the medications and glasses that were given out in April for both blood pressure, those who have diabetes, and glasses that were given out. Yeah, we intend to continue to do that because that goes directly to the people, but also the project for the school. You guys will see the cost. And we need, we're going to ask for pledge from everybody. Apart from New York, this is just the convention, but we will ask for pledge to at least accomplish one of them, of the projects. The goal is to get this thing completed by December next year. And that is to tell you how serious we are with it. We have already solicited some funds from companies, and some companies have already pledged. Some also have already donated money towards that project for these school chairs and the dome. The last estimate I received for the school was it 17 million or 20 million? I will look at it. No, for the school. To build the dome, to build the hostel for 15 people.
How much was it?
About 17 million naira.
From start to finish.
Completely finished, and including the bed. No, bed and the mattress. That's all we're giving them. They have to bring their own silverware. It's not like going to a dorm and you check in, but the bed and the mattress is already there. And the whole concept is we had two designs. Was it one where they have a common restroom, or the other design is where they have
They double up.
and they have privacy where one room has the toilet, the bathroom, and all that for just 2 people. But the final estimate was 17 million. If we do a private bathroom and toilet, it is about 20 million. But if we do a common double up, not just, 2 people have shared bathroom and toilet, 2 people, then there's about 17 million. And included in that is a common area and also a kitchen for everybody where they can all go in and cook their food and get that.
I think the preference was more towards the double up, because the male and female concept of decentralized, yes.
So just to know, the female has their own section, the guys have their own section, but they do come into a common area where they can, like a lounge where they can watch TV or do anything, but they all have a common kitchen.
We have a self-contained.
Self-contained. Very expensive.
You know what, Tony?
I don't know why they are doing
The question
the friend is not really much.
No, it is a lot.
Long term, it pays more. I've been in Copa, said in the rural area. Sometimes privacy is very important too. This common area thing, I really don't understand.
Okay. No problem. We like that.
The source of the way you source money in terms of say some companies are protected, and how do you go about that? You just relate it to the executives?
No,
because
that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, because if we have each one of us have so they can give it out to whoever we are.
That's what we're talking about here. We've been thinking about this.
And that's why I couldn't ask before, do we have a website? Because some certain things, you tell people they need to go, most of these videos need to be posted there. So that when you're telling people, they go on our website, see what we're doing.
You have your phone there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's try this.
Okay.
ODCF.
Google.
No, you don't have to Google it. ODCFUSA.org. Let me see if I can bring it out without missing the video. Let me minimize that.
Oh, hold on, I got it.
Who is tech savvy? Somebody come up here. So let's start. Here is it.
Let's start, man.
Yeah, she's already have it so that she can get out. She's already saw it.
Okay.
Okay. Where we're paid. Nobody. Okay. So here is the thing is that this is now, we just want a recommendation from you guys, and that vote is a vote of recommendation, where the executive go by, look at it, and then turn around and then vote. So we have the elementary school chairs for all elementary schools from 1 to 2 days, and then they don't. They go to a youth caucus lodge, we call it. So what you guys will be the, in terms of priority, which one will you recommend be number one?
Let me start by saying, let us deal with people already that make this issue, this thing more. Most of the schools in Onicha-Ugbo don't have chairs and all that, so I think that's even more viable.
Okay.
The NYC project should be more of the future to attract more teachers, but for now, what's more important is the functional school and make them stand out for the school.
All right. Any thought, any recommendations in terms of priority?
I think,
I agree with that.
yeah, I second that, because number one, too, with the hostel, that's a huge project. We need time to digest it, okay, and be able to analyze how we're going to really approach this. Because remember the last conference we had, we said anything we do back home, we want to make sure we have an individual back home to represent us. Like what Steve, my wife just did now with the health and stuff. Okay, so with this huge project, how are we going to attack this? How are we going to be sure we're going to give somebody money and they're going to do exactly what we ask them to do? So we need to really plan how we're going to attack this project. It's a long-term project, like I said, you know. So let it sink in and just plan things out, okay?
That's why we're asking for recommendations in terms of priority, so.
Okay. In terms of priority, I would say let's go and find out the estimate for the chairs. That seems to be like doable right now. So with that, the other one, we'll still pursue it. And when we are ready, hopefully we'll pray for good health. With working with Kenneth, that one, when we have the money, we'll have somebody to handle it. That is yeah.
So, just quickly, by, you know, we don't know, but it's all the recommendation for us to go back and digest. So by show of hand, how many people say the first priority we should do is get the chair done?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, the guy that laid the foundation, okay.
Okay.
Okay, how many people think we should do the youth covers lodge first? Okay.
No votes.
No votes.
Without the school functioning, where would you come?
No, right now, as I said,
No, but that's why we put it out there to say, okay, we need to dream.
Okay. With the schools that exist in that,
Okay.
the new structure from ground. Look at the time frame, look at the time it will take to finish all these things. It's a more logical thing to deal with what's on ground, and then that one should be.
Yeah, that's why we're asking for recommendation. We will then ask them, and when we talk about committee, we are heavily relying on two people most of the time. And so I'm going to talk to Joe Steve and they will get us the estimate on the chair. We have estimate on the youth purpose lodge. And just that we're all clear, this chair is going to be for the elementary school. And when we say chairs, you know, careful while they'll connect it together. So, and I know to give credit to some, is it Lekki? OPU Lekki did some chairs, but they did it for either a classroom or two classroom.
yeah, you know, the guy that did it, he used to be with us even at convention. This time it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
Because there was a mix-up in visa.
So we're going to focus on doing the whole elementary school. So right now, I don't know the name of the elementary schools, but I know before we had All Saints, we had St. Joseph, we had
CMS. Former CMS.
What about St. Agnes?
That's what I was asking. They're now Ife-Yinwa, I think.
Okay, so you have Ife-Yinwa, you have All Saints, you have Igbonoza.
Is it not the CMS is the Bonova now or what?
Igbonoza.
Igbonoza, yeah. Igbonoza.
So probably they're like 4 to 5,
Okay.
and we'll confirm that.
So, you know, let's confirm, let's get the estimate, and we'll get that. The health convention, the health fair, we will definitely continue to do that once a year. It makes a big difference. And we will also ask some of our medical people here, when the time comes, if they can join in providing assistance, either in person or contribution or advice, because they're all important.
Because this medical mission, one of the funny way you use it. How many go for medical mission? We expect them on the medical field where we get the right equipment, because there are so many medical missionaries and with Nana US. Everybody wants to go to Nigeria, especially Onicha medical mission. If you were in the come on, man. It is outdated.
That's true.
Overnight, they will push it to you, and yeah, let them get updated medical equipment, not just anything for the sake of medical mission.
Yeah, those are the things that we also have to talk to them. You also have to remember that we did this in the palace, outside. If they are taking these people to the hospital, then you will have the equipment. So apart from doing that, because you need the electricity to operate this equipment, so if they have, then to do that, we have to bus them to outdoor to the clinic. So that is
the process.
Yeah.
Okay. We can keep doing that.
It's a screening process to bring out those that have defects. So when they identify those people, now
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
He understands better than we do. So the thing is that we screen them. Then that's why they gave them. If you watch the whole thing, they gave people a card.
Yeah.
And you know, they told them, for you to get the surgery, you have to bring this card. If the issue is a high issue with the pain, because diabetes has different stages, right? Okay, so if you're on that high stage, you have to go to the clinic now to get the next level of treatment. But all these are screening that they do.
Everybody that came there was registered. They had laptop. They took their name and they registered everyone. So they have record of everyone that came.
Okay. So here is it. We've had lunch. We've talked about the project that you guys are recommending to the executives to consider. And a lot of people have talked about the medical mission. We will continue that, that's for sure. And once we get the estimate for these chairs, we will send that out. This job is a labor of love, and sometimes it takes a toll on different people. So the term for all the people up here is up. So now we're going to open up the floor to elect new members to the executive of ODCA. And that is the next thing in the agenda. As she said, lunchtime came, a lot of people showed up. Once lunch is finished, everybody disappeared. You know, I'm going to give all of you credit for always being committed and being there. We appreciate it. And then I will have a special credit to my brother there, Tony Ndidi. When he became one, you know, he knows, he doesn't hide it. He's open in his criticism, but also he's very committed to a cause. So he's committed to this cause, and he did a lot of stuff in his support to me, particularly in driving a lot of stuff here in Chicago in the past 4 weeks. So the time is up. We're calling on every son and daughter of Onicha-Ugbo to step up to the plate. And every single position is open. I don't like the fact that after lunch, before lunch, nobody, they were all in their rooms. So as soon as lunch came, they all came down. All of a sudden, everybody answered their phone. They came down and the lunch is over, everybody disappears. But it's always like that. And that is what we talk about commitment. Tony, you know, hey, we need committed people. Sometimes all it takes is 4 or 5 people. And this process, we're all talking about it and enjoying it. It started with 2 people. It started with 2 people. And with that, for those of you who are new here, Steve Ogesin and Kenny Wong.
Can I say something, please? Before we go into the election, I was discussing with some members of the executive there on a broader issue. In the future, I also want us to merge this OPU and ODCFT because even though in Chicago, when we meet, you guys know how we talk about it. Jokpa is not yet stitched down. So I spoke to Tony and Mr.
Sister Lee.
So I think in the future, something we should go, there are more entrepreneurs in America than this.
Yeah.
And I see that OPU and ODCFT work parallel to each other. I think we should bring out like-minded people, have a small committee and merge ourselves because there's strength in numbers. If we can merge ourselves, iron our differences, I think we'll go a longer because there are more children in this country than this.
Yeah.
And we have to expose it in such a way that if we have to remove those 2 names and just get one common name, it's like it becomes an untouchable cause. We can do more. Most of these projects you guys are saying can even go beyond because then we have more crowd. So it's something we should open up for the next executive coming in, a way of merging these 2. Because I remember when I started, I was giving my story back in Lagos then. I was a young man in my own group in Lagos. The OP, that's why I hear about it. My dad was the chairman at that time in Lagos. So he really forced me to go to meetings. When I go for those meetings, I was based in Festac then. They won't let you talk. It was all about age. What do you know? What can you say? So I got frustrated and I left. So when I came to America, you know, ODCF is different. I'm still learning about ODCF, but we also have our own, everybody has their own association. But the bottom line here is that there's still a problem with OPU and ODCF. If you listen to, like, Mr. Jidon is not here, we call him Jokpa. When he brings those stories, like I keep like, why can't we merge? What is the problem there? There's a lot of ideas out there.
So
I just think it's a good idea to have common minds to make it so we can expand.
Yeah. So just to share with you, so that everybody will say it's just a simple answer. ODCF is a foundation. It's not an association. Okay. So that is a big difference between an association and a foundation. That is one. A foundation calls on every individual, whether Onicha-Ugbo or difference. Just quickly, I didn't write any long speech. My presidential address is very short. You have an insert. It's simple. On behalf of Onicha-Ugbo Development and Cultural Foundation and its executive, my sincere thanks to all Onicha-Ugbo indigenes and supporters. The foundation calls on every Onicha-Ugbo indigenes and supporters. So those are 2 different things. In terms of also the way the taxes and the law and people operate. 1. 2, we don't have OPU in the United States. So that I can definitely answer for a fact. We don't have that. But that does not stop us from talking. In Houston they have okay. We have Onicha-Ugbo in Chicago, up in Maryland, tri-state. So that doesn't stop everybody to come into a foundation. Once a foundation is set up, you can make contribution to that foundation, whether you're a member or there's no membership per se. But I understand where you're going with that, and there's no problem. And when you say merge, first of all, they have to be a leadership team of OPU to have that conversation, which we don't have. There's no OPU in the U.S. And second of all, when we talk about OPU, we also have to be mindful of the different fractions in Nigeria. So that we're not saying, that is why we say we're not doing anything and say, okay, we're working with OPU to do anything, because you can work with OPU Abuja. It's a different mindset with the national, even within the national OPU, also there's fractions that broke up from it. So what you said is fine, I agree with it. However, we will let OPU put their house in order, and then we know who we are working with or we are talking with. Because whoever we talk with now, the other fraction might say, why are you guys working with those people? What about us? So that they have to be united and then come up with one. But in the US, we don't have that. Even in London, we have OPU, but OPU in London, forget it. They don't even exist anymore because you have so many fractions that broke up. So that will be something that is good to always have. So we will continue to talk about it, and hopefully they will get together to do it. Even as a matter of fact, so that you guys know, there was one project that OPU in Nigeria asked us to donate money for, and the executives, we said no, because they want us to buy tankers. Okay, remember? They called us, they said they already want us to buy tankers, water tankers.
Without the money,
so we asked them for the current tank that is in existence. And I know some of you will not know it, but again, during your time, the executive of during your time, you guys were the one that putting up that money for that current tanker they're using. And they're selling it water to people, that they should be able to buy another tank from that money. Again, OPU wanted to do the fundraising and asked us, and here's the thing, they didn't request, they requested for fund, they didn't request, can you donate money towards this fundraising that we're doing to help? The request was, can you guys foot the bill? Completely foot the bill. Now, another thing about that I'll share with you also, there's a sign between Ugbo and Onicha-Ugbo. We just finished spending millions of naira from here on the electricity. And then we got a phone call to pay for the sign, welcome to Onicha-Ugbo, between Ugbo and Onicha-Ugbo. And our reply was, you mean to tell me there's no person in Onicha-Ugbo that can pay for that sign? Nobody? How much was it? Nobody. So it's almost, they're looking up here to say, get it. So we asked OPUs to pay for the sign and do it. None of the OPUs step up to the plate and pay for it. And the sign wasn't done. And we're not. We told them it makes no sense. So every time something is needed, we make a phone call up here to get it. So OPU is definitely something that we look forward to walking to. It's a foundation, but we can work with them. But we have to have a leader, a group. Who is leading the group? Who are the leaders within it? With that said, you're welcome.
Well, I think, again, I'm in the mix of everything. We started,
I didn't want to go there, so let's leave that one.
Okay, Steve. Hold on. Hold on. So Tony, does that help? Okay, because that's what came out during the lunch, because we are very transparent. Okay, the way you came across, clean, that's nice. Okay, if you have any question, reach out to people. They will provide an answer for you guys. I don't want you guys to be confused. Okay, like he said, we don't even have OPU right now. Okay, Coco London, the same thing. Yes. Seriously, these are young guys coming up. You want to hear the truth. You want to hear the truth. Yeah.
That happens, and we're saying as I said, this is a foundation. OP is an association, 2 different charters, but that doesn't mean that we can work together and do things together. So that is that. So once the leadership is formalized, we know who to talk to, we can do that. And just to share with you that during OP's inauguration, the first time when he did the inauguration, go back and look at our journal. The inauguration, the first time, exactly, quite Obi. Okay? Go back and look at it.
I'm sorry, let me clear something. Right? Oh, my boss will OP. In that sense of thinking, that's how we can expand our base. This is a foundation which is kind of voluntary. If we want to do more things from Chuo, we should have that mindset of making some of these things mandatory to force in more membership, because there are more people in the United States that can do more.
So, our time is limited.
Let's leave it though.
The time is limited.
Yeah, it's a mandatory thing. It's like
the time is limited.
Let me give you a statement. Let me give you a statement. Your statement is correct. OP is mandated. But where we are, we don't mandate people to associate. You can't mandate me to associate with you or with any organization I don't want. But actually, the freedom of my right. So that's how we thought about that, we did that. So yeah, if you are going home, that you are not a member of the OPU, Victor as the president is supposed to report you to the way for your home. If you come back, if you are American, any action you can take against your association here. So we don't want to get involved. That involves liability here. You can get away if you fit in Nigeria.
That's not how I look at it. It's about expanding our base.
Expanding base is good, but you cannot force people to expand base. So you either associate with something or not. We talk about commitment. You are committed to the cause or you're not committed to the cause. I cannot force you to be committed to a cause. So we have time frame that we need to abide by. I don't mean to cut everybody short, but we need to proceed with getting the new executives on board.
Can I say something, please? With regards to the election you're talking about, I know this is an election year. I want to thank the executives. You guys have really done very, very great. I'm trying to make a proposal. If it's supported by the House, I think that would be fine. In Dallas, the attendance was much. We had a lot of people in Dallas, more than we have right now. And before we went for lunch, we had more people. So now after lunch,
you're going to have more people.
This evening, okay, after lunch now, we just have a few of us here. So what I'm trying to propose is, if you guys have done a very good job, I would want to propose that you guys carry on for another term. You understand? That's what I'm trying to propose. If the House accepts it, we, at least for another 2 years, probably by the next time we'll have a convention, we'll have a very full House, we can elect leaders. So we thank you guys for your job, and I hope you guys can carry on for the next 2 years. Thank you.
Supported.
Okay.
Okay,
No, it's supported. But what I'm saying is we can still add, because the more people we have in the executive, the lesser the job, and the better it is. So as far as we're asking them to continue, I think we should have more people supporting them. That is one. Second, I think we need to have a way that we recruit more people into this. Yeah, because sometimes we need to learn how to reach out to people. My sister there has been doing a very good job, but I'm going through the website. They should have certain things that attract people on this, because the system is changing. Technology is taking over. there's a way if they put more things on this website that will attract more people and to be able to reach out. Cover the letter out and reach out to people, and let them explain to them, because sometimes some people miss it all. Believe you me, between OPU and ODF. So if you don't explain it very well to them, you know, they may not want to say, oh, I'm in OPF, I'll find out the previous thing that happened in OPF back home. They don't want to be part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, can I say something?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Like what Ifeanyi said about our website. Our website is not up to date. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think we should get somebody in-house that can do it. And based on that, I'm nominating Ifeanyi to take care of our website. You know why I say so? In Cleveland, we have Nigerian NCGC, Nigerian community in Greater Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so, and then he is the one working with the person that is doing the website. Our website is very robust. And that based on that, so I want him to be part of the executive so he can get going. And our website will be what he wants it to be. Thank you. Okay, based on that, I want to nominate him as an assistant social secretary because we have a vacant as an assistant social secretary. And I know he can do that.
Before you nominate, let us all decide you guys are continuing this by a vote of by proposal, somebody give a motion and we all raise our hands for this. And based on that we can get more people. Let's just go by stepwise. So let somebody who made that proposal to extend.
Yeah.
Okay, make a recommendation.
Put it into motion.
Okay. No, it's not. We have to show this. Okay.
But first of all, it's not you doing that first. All of us here, we do it for a level along, and all of us want to step down.
Yeah, it's not easy.
So it's not like we want to
do
or die. So the first question is, do we want to continue?
If I have to answer that, he made it very valid point. I was in Dallas. We don't have enough forum to go for an election at this point. So I don't know how the election companies are. I don't know who. You know, there are a lot of things I don't know.
Yeah, Tony, that's the thing is that I want to help you. Stop. We don't have all day to go through that. Just remember one thing: foundation, association, two different things.
That's what I'm saying.
So that is where it comes in. Okay. So association and foundation are two different concepts.
So how do you
way they operate? So that is what she just did. So they are asking us to continue. The first question is, how many of us wants to continue?
Yeah, let it be voluntary. Show of hands who wants to continue. But I don't know if we have enough people to school.
Okay, my suggestion is, I would suggest that.
We don't, that again, just keep taking up
there's a
different
proposal
concepts.
on the ground. Why don't we vote on the proposal, maybe with some kind of amendment, the village, we want the present executive to continue, but internally among them, they could adjust for, you know, positions or, you know, the president, they would see where the position that probably somebody is very not ready to continue and then try to put, you know, one or two other positions. Can we, is that a viable thing to just call this thing?
Excuse me, can I have a point? The issue is that some of us are speaking based on the level of of understanding. So we're not going to be an order of everybody will be here and accept everybody, whatever everybody says. This is based on his mind. But the virtue of my training, and I cannot New York, to Florida. Try association for our association there. He was our president there before he moved almost 3 presidents before that. We have our own website, we have everything, we have the people who reach out. New York as a whole, but I was now, he will live what? He will live in Germany. He will live in Holland. Also, Holland will make a living. We want it for you to go versatile, put everything in the website, blow all the local. This is what we did. They're here. They will solve it in the morning. We even went further, meeting them from places. And at the end, they gave us here 15 answers. We'll be coming at the end of our end with some. Okay. We began to work we were working. I agree with them. This meeting, this is my own, ever since I happened in the US, I've been coming with my family and this and that. And okay, they will be here with this. There's no time we'll come here, we don't preach for members. We don't write letter. Before this convention, in my own email, I got signaled at 18. Publicity. People, from last year, that's a young man who was having. And the number of the emails in the Onicha-Ugbo program, they were more than 90s. Everybody, including some of people who were there. Some people now call 2 days before I leave. I see that they're getting email. They got all this. But who is going to show concern? Is going to show the concern. And to the world, to the country we are, we don't force anybody to do what he doesn't want to do. So that's what we're going to keep in mind. But what I'm pleading now is that, not that the election, because the virtue of the constitution for people says, once you are 20, you can carry out election. 20 members, we are not 20 here. My pleading is that nothing will be able to be good. But you don't know what you to be very, very good. Based on my own personal willing, you guys have delivered very well. I'm suggesting that we'll allow you guys so that the people who are going to bring more people to add to you guys here to uplift some vacuums that's leaking. I don't care what people bear, but I am not in a position where I should have that.
No. It's not that.
But I'm telling you, please. I know most of you, some of you discuss about practical. Now, what's up? What will I do for executive? That's why I'm about to say. What do I say? I'm in opinion that you guys have to go there. And that there's a motion that's on the ground.
So let's
can let a fine for that website. That will proceed their own. Calling the election, I'm not a supporter.
No, it's not about it. We have to open it to the floor. I appreciate what you're saying. Yes, some people already said, and it's not just one person. You know, we all go through it and say, man, you know, I do a lot. Steve Maliofani, he knows these 3 people here. They know very well. I do a lot of traveling, and Tony, you know that too. I do a lot of traveling for work. But that doesn't mean this is a labor of love. But, you know, we wanted to make sure we open it to the floor. And I appreciate, as I recognized you earlier, I appreciate, you know, your commitment, stepping up to the plate to help. So the question now is, you're saying you're asking all of us to continue. But among us, some of us don't want to, but that is no problem because we can, as Steve said, we can, you know, move things around. Here is, do you guys want to continue or do you want to throw it back to the floor and say, let's get some new people up here? Okay. So we have only, you guys give us so that we can get out of here.
Okay. Among us, starting with you as the president. Okay, let's start with you. You can know or not, then let's know what we're facing.
Yeah, but let me say one thing before you, because I know I'm well, you know, I don't know if it's in our constitution, because it will help us in the future, which we are trying to. In organization, we need to start learning how to train people, and that's what our people don't do. In terms of president, vice president. So even when the next, because when leaders continue, and we can be able to manage. But if you just hand over to different new people, who does not understand this, you're going to fall and it's going to become another problem. So because of that, is what I'm saying. That's why I say so that they will learn. So we start learning because we're not teaching. You know, I was a member of the Rotary Club that we know who the president is going to be. From president-elect, you know it continues. The continuity makes every organization stronger. You know, because like if you now go say you are tired and you hand over to people who can manage it, everything we have done all this past is going to come to crumble. So because of that, I would suggest, I'm pleading on behalf of Onicha-Ugbo people, so that you could add more people to it, so that those people can be able to hear it.
So we are paying less.
Mr. Bella, let's handle this thing quickly. Mr. President, let's roll it. Okay. That lady came here and said, "Now go move on out here by 3." Okay. Are you willing to stay?
I have no choice.
Okay. I'm willing to stay. Just one next convention. That's only thing. Only one more time.
It used to be, and we've done it for years, that when the president goes, the vice president.
Victor
was the vice when Pius was here.
Yeah.
And Victor stepped up when, you know.
Yeah, but.
So it's your turn.
If that was the case, Mr. Anazia should have stayed on the president.
Me and Mr. Anazia we ran this organization for 9 years. We know.
12 years.
9 years.
12.
12 years.
You guys did it for 12 years.
So, you guys are just 4 years old.
After 2 years, right? You now become the president.
When do we get there?
Yeah, we have to get there.
So, here is it. I'm one of the I'm one of the people. Onicha-Ugbo is my cousin, so it's a family member. That's my sister there. So it's not. This is real. He's a great grandfather. So I did share with him. I said, man, I need to take a break. And I'm on a Namagwa Steve here because I'm wasting my time. My mama said I need to take a break. Young uncle, number one, but number two, he did it for 12 years. You know, and he did it when it was more difficult and to start it from scratch. But I have no problem continuing. I will continue. And one of the things I get out of it is that when it gets certain things upon my, you know, as a counselor, as a mentor, we've been through it, and the great thing now is that I get to delegate easily because he's retired. And then Ojezono and Akwade Ojepono, Jay finishing his project, we kind of package something among us here and say, when you get home, can you make sure this is taken care of?
I know your trick.
No, but thank you for that. Mike and I talked, and really we got to a point where two of us wanted to do this. But yes, I'll continue, make it sure. Now Mike will tell you. Okay, Lillian, you'll continue, you're going to step up.
I'm just 1 year. I'll continue.
Hey, Tony, come on.
I don't know yet.
Okay, Tony.
I don't know yet.
We need to answer today.
Hey, Tony,
Just
also.
yes.
Come on, Tony.
So,
next convention and all those stuff.
Okay.
See how
I'm good.
Okay. So it's good. It's gonna be good.
It's still too bad.
I need a question. So, with that, let's look at the assistant social secretary position that is open, and they nominated. No. Let me make it clear. They nominated a man with timber and caliber from the London of Onicha-Ugbo, the cocoa of London.
Greater center of
The people that came from Benin and was given their own kingdom and allowed to be their own kingdom until we slap them around and make them part of Onicha-Ugbo.
Only you get this light.
So, Brother Pius, yeah.
Bro, I am not bored.
Okay. So he becomes the IT social secretary. Okay. We should change his name. So here is it. Instead of calling him IT social secretary, we will change that to media.
Publicity secretary.
Yeah. Media
Publicity.
communication. Media communication.
We also need we need things like welfare officers, because one of the things I would say, at least in the foundation, I'm still working my brain, but you have to expand that executive and bring in more
that we're working on those things as we go. So
you need a welfare officer that can reach out to people.
That's his job.
He's gonna.
That's his job.
Yeah, media and welfare, you can put them.
Media and web, that's publicity.
Brother, it goes.
Speaking from experience.
Tomorrow we won't see them. And so far, I was really going to run around. Try and make a phone call and see.
Okay, let me.
So we have limited. Our time is up here. So,
but you guys have to realize we still have a constitution, and before we start creating new positions,
no, what happened?
we will leave the executive to deal with that. Meanwhile, let's vote and incorporate it into the executive.
Yeah, where?
By show of hand, I want to move a motion to nominate my brother here for the is it publicity secretary or
We will fix the position by ourselves. But okay, so here is it. We are all supporting. So here is it, because already we are done. They are coming to kick us out of the hall. So I would like to say thank you guys. Please, let's be here at 7. Okay, the next convention, we've had a lot of talk about it. It has nothing to do with Cleveland, Nobona. You guys can wait to mature.
We're not mature yet.
It's going to be in Houston. Houston.
Okay. Let me
excuse me, let's not have a silent please.
My wife and myself are the only people from Houston here. Okay, you
can take your
telling
seat
us we are supposed to hold, but you know in Houston we have a couple of independent, so we take back the message to them.
Correct.
Then we will through the executive.
And they will let us know
what we can do
and not do.
time or
But at the end of the day, we appreciate your leadership.
I know you will have a lot of our people there because we just had the education real country get to the and we have because of sister that passed away. I'm one with that. We're trying to do something.
Yeah, well, we already talked about that today, and we'll be there at August 8th, 2nd and 3rd. So with that said, we need to talk about Houston. We're doing it in Houston. We're doing it in Houston, and we need to adjourn. We will have please, we will have time for anybody that wants to ask any question on the side. That was why I wanted us to start early, but when we started at 10, not everybody was here. So we have very short time frame to do this. But I thank you guys. Please, let's come down at 7 p.m. Please come down starting at 7. So I move to adjourn.
Yeah, boy. Open up. We are going to rearrange.
Houston.
They don't know yet.
It's Houston.
There's not